What's good, y'all? Desaiah here. And today, let's be real for a second. I know a lot of people like to talk about motivation. I am a motivational channel that does Marvel Rivals content in the background. To say that motivation is the end all be all in life is not true. Motivation is deceiving. It's good to have. It is amazing to be fired up, to be locked in, to feel like you are ready to do whatever it is you feel like you want to do when you are motivated. Because motivation is not bad. But there's a difference between being motivated and relying on motivation. Really hear that out. Motivation comes and goes. Motivation's inconsistent. It's emotional. It's that hype man you have in the background that shows up when things are easy but disappears the second life gets hard. You ever started like a New Year's resolution? You were hyped. First week, you went to the gym. You were killing it. You were out there. You was like, yeah, I'm getting these pumps in. Bada bing, bada boom. And then a bad day hits you. Maybe work is stressing you out. You get tired. You got baby mama drama. And you ain't even got no baby. And then that motivation just suddenly leaves. Like, am I going to show up today? Or am I going to skip that day? And if motivation is the only thing that you have, you're skipping. Pause for a minute. Let that sink in. Yo, you can't be doing this, big dog. For real. Chill out. That's why I'm telling you this now. If you're building goals towards your dreams, your future, on just motivation alone, you're going to set yourself up to fail every single time. Because motivation always fades. Motivation always disappears when things get tough. And when your motivation is gone, what are you going to have left? That's where discipline starts to step in. Because there's going to be days you wake up and you don't feel like doing anything. You don't feel like working out. You don't feel like grinding. You don't feel like building on your dreams or getting out of bed. Nothing is wrong with taking a day off just to be you. When you build all of your habits on, I'll do it when I'm motivated, that's when everything is going to fall for you. Because motivation is tied to your emotions and brain chemistry. We all know what dopamine is. If you don't, I'll explain. Maybe you ain't that far in science yet, or maybe you don't know what dopamine is at all. It's the chemical that makes you feel excited. It's the chemical that keeps you driven, focused. But dopamine spikes when you're chasing a reward, when something feels new or exciting. But over time, that dopamine starts to drop. The excitement will start to fade. The brain stops giving you that natural boost. And if you're relying on that dopamine hit to keep you going, you're gonna crash. It's like a sugar rush. Literally, you eat so much sugar to the point you're hyper, you're excited. You're like, I could do this, I could do that. I'm about to go do everything. And then the minute that sugar rush fades, boom, you crash. I learned this the hard way because for me, the hardest thing was working out consistently and finishing projects on time too. Well, not on time, but actually like finishing what I started. Every time I lost motivation, I quit. Anytime I seen a negative comment, any type of setback, it would knock me down because I had motivation, but I didn't have discipline. And that's one of the reasons too why I'm so bad at uploading too, because if I see one negative comment, I go into like this dark battle, which now I'm doing better with being disciplined instead of working on motivation. Motivation was like a drug for me. It was addiction. It was like I was watching motivational videos, going through quotes that would get me hyped up and telling myself that I'm going to stick with it. A lot of the times I would. There were certain projects that I would work on, or I would start going to the gym, I'd start working out, and I start showing up. The thing that really stopped me a lot of the times wasn't the fact that I was working out or that I was sore. This is something that's really going to hit home for a lot of people. Every time that I was working out and I looked in the mirror, I was checking for my progress, hoping to see a difference. And every day when I didn't see a difference for myself, it chipped my motivation away little by little. Every time I looked in that mirror and I didn't see the results, I just gave up. Motivation had a lot to do with it, but it wasn't just being motivated. The problem was also that I didn't like myself. And when you don't like yourself, No amount of progress is going to make you feel like you're enough. No amount of motivation is going to last you, because deep down, you're not showing up out of love. You're showing out because of the hatred you have in yourself. Because when the motivation's gone, when you don't feel like showing up, when you don't have discipline, you're done. It's easy to show up when you're motivated, but it's hard to show up when you're not. When you see the rain pouring and you have to go jog in the rain, you're like, I'll skip today because it's raining. You're not going to show up when it's hard. You're only going to show up when it feels easy, when you're motivated. You can't base life, your goals, on your future motivation, because motivation is temporary. Habits, routine, and discipline, that's built to last. Let's talk about building discipline and how you can build discipline too. The first thing that changed me was I started waking up early. If you watch a lot of my content on either Instagram or TikTok or just on YouTube in general, which you're watching right now, you would see that I do wake up at 6 a.m. every day. And I didn't just start from instantly going to wake up at 6 a.m. overnight. That's an unrealistic goal. My biggest thing that helped me with that, which I didn't know this is actually a thing that actually worked, but it worked for me, but now I know it's actually a thing that works because I actually researched it before I made this video. I started waking up at probably around like 9ish, right? Because that's when I usually will have to go to work, around like 9, right? When I worked from home, right? So then maybe 9, 10, whatever, right? So then I'd start waking up at 8 until my body naturally adjusted. Then I started waking up at 7 till my body naturally adjusted to that. Then I started waking up at 6 till my body naturally got adjusted to the point where I'm just waking up at 6 without my alarm even going off. Your body runs on a circadian rhythm, which is your eternal clock. And science actually shows that your body's clock adjusts gradually, not instantly. Sleep doctors recommend this too, by moving your wake up time earlier little by little so your body can naturally reset without fighting you. It's going to take a while for this to work too. You're going to have days where you're going to slip up or feel tired. It's like slowly turning the dial until your body learns, oh, this is the new normal. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about the small, consistent steps. And this actually helped me. And I know a lot of people have a problem with waking up early. And if you do this, this is one of the things that's naturally going to help you wake up earlier. And also on top of that, going to sleep at a decent time. That doesn't mean you have to go to sleep at 5 or 6 or 7, depending on when you want to wake up, right? But pick a time where your body will naturally be like, I need to be in bed right now. And you could have off days where you might be like, all right, I want to be in bed by 10. There's some days you might go to sleep at 12 because you're out at like a concert or something. That's okay. But pick a time where you know, this is when I need to be in bed by. You want to also schedule everything. You want to schedule, not just the big things that you have to do throughout the day. Start scheduling when you want to go to lunch, when you want to start working out, when you want to do your work blocks, your free time, your bedtime, like I said. When you write this stuff down, it turns real. A plan in your head is a wish. A plan on paper is a blueprint. Can you let that sink in, please? It's actually really annoying. I know we can't be serious. Another one? The truth is, most people fail because they don't know when they're supposed to do the work. That's why schedules matter. It removes the guesswork and decision fatigue. Like I said, the best ways to stick to a schedule, which helped me, is to lock in your wake up and bedtime. Your morning and night are going to set the tone. So stay consistent and pick a time that your body is going to crave that rhythm every single day. Because once you get used to it, your body's going to get used to it, and you won't even need the alarm clock most of the time. You want to make time blocks, not just list things. Actually make blocks of what you're going to do. Example, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. I'm going to work out. 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. I'm going to work. 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. I'm going to have lunch. And when it's time to switch. No matter how much you've worked on, if you have a lot to do at work, it doesn't matter. If it's time for lunch, go on lunch, whatever it is. Stick to that schedule and make sure to schedule breaks and have fun. Plan rest, because your brain's gonna find it for you through distractions. Oh, I'm always doom scrolling. If you don't plan out your days and plan out what time you can rest so you can avoid doom scrolling, your brain's gonna find it for you to doom scroll. But when you actually block out your time, maybe put your phone on D&D too. I'm not gonna hold you. Maybe you do have an addiction, but right, your brain won't try to find those distractions if you actually block out your day and plan time to rest so you can get that doom scrolling and everything out of the way. Don't try to plan every hour at first. Just lock in one non-negotiable block a day and then build from there each day. Especially when you have to work, when you get home, what time you're gonna cook, etc. Like, just plan small things and keep building up on that schedule and keep it visible. Put your schedule where you'll see it, like a phone, a whiteboard, a calendar. If you put your schedule out of sight or keep it in your head, it's going to leave your mind and you're going to forget it. A schedule is not going to guarantee you success, but it's going to give you discipline. It's going to turn motivation into action. When you move with structure, your off days are still going to move you forward. There is a trick to get your brain into action. Instead of using motivation, something that you can trick your brain into taking action is just starting. And there actually is a science to just tricking your brain into taking action. I watched this talk a long time ago and I actually need to start implementing it into my life again because I actually forgot about it until now. If you have heard of it, you know what it is when I say it, the 5-second rule. If you don't know, it's a talk by Mel Robbins. Go watch it. It was good. She talks about the 5-second rule. It's about your brain in fighting momentum and turning it into discipline. The moment you have an instinct to act on a goal, you have 5 seconds before your brain's going to talk you out of starting, before the doubt creeps in. She says to just count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And once you hit 1, you move, you take action. It doesn't matter if it's working out, getting out of bed, making a phone call, writing an email. You don't wait for the motivation to show up to where you start doing it. You just count down and you start moving, and the motivation shows up later. Literally, because once you start, your brain is automatically going to find that momentum. And then once you get that momentum, you won't even need to work for an hour. You're just going to work, and then you're going to instantly just be like, oh, I've been working for 2 hours and haven't even noticed. So the next time you feel like you're stuck, just do a countdown from 5 and then start at 1, because your brain is wired to protect you from discomfort. And starting is something that's uncomfortable. Getting out of bed is uncomfortable because you're already comfortable. But when you start, you've already won half of the battle. Make things non-negotiable. And by that, I mean things like brushing your teeth, eating, drinking water, etc. You don't wake up and not brush your teeth today, right? You just get up and do it in the morning. Well, I hope you do. But that's how you need to make your habits or whatever you schedule, things that are non-negotiable. The more decisions you have to make, the easier it is for you to quit. Make sure to forgive yourself and stay accountable. There's gonna be days you messed up. There's going to be days that you miss. There's going to be a fall off day. The difference is whether you stay off or stay on. Give yourself grace, but don't give yourself an excuse to quit. You could have cheat days. Yesterday was literally a day where I literally said, you know what, I ain't really gonna do much today. And I didn't. I didn't edit a video. I didn't do anything. I stayed in bed for most of the day. And then I went to go see the Kendrick and SZA concert, which was amazing, by the way. Forgive yourself, but also keep yourself accountable. No, hey, I didn't do this yesterday. I need to make sure today, or the next day, I need to work tenfold. If you're doing something because you hate yourself, you're going to punish yourself and set yourself up for a burnout. I used to want to work out because I hated how I looked. And every time I didn't see the progress, I quit. Because deep down, the problem wasn't me working out and staying motivated. The problem was that I didn't like myself. And you can't build discipline on self-hate. It has to come from self-respect. Stop chasing perfection. Stop waiting for motivation. Just start respecting yourself enough to keep the promises that you made to yourself. Because no one else is going to hold you accountable but yourself. If you're serious about building discipline, start today. Whatever it is, having to wake up an hour earlier, having to make a schedule, take a small step towards the goal. You don't have to jump into the pool, just dip your toe in there. Even when the motivation is not there, do it anyways. Even when it's raining outside, still do your workout that you have to do outside in the rain, because your brain is gonna go, wow, I really don't feel like being out here right now, but I'm still out here. And it's going to become normal, because discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. And that's where I'll leave it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell so you guys are notified of videos that I upload. Do anything that you guys can to have my non-existent videos be seen. And comment down below what's one habit you're gonna commit to this week to build discipline. Let's make sure to hold each other accountable, and make sure to hold yourself accountable. And Desaiah, signing off.